Hey, Timmy. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good, Joe. Just eating my soup.
No, I understand. You know, I was I was thinking I'm thinking about doing one of those 23andMe's. Figure out where I'm from, maybe if I got any genetic disorders,
Uh,
whether
I
or not this whole carnivore diet is compatible with my makeup.
Let me just tell you something, Joe, and I say this honestly, you don't want to do that.
I mean, I can afford it. It's
It's
not a
it's
big deal.
oh, we know you can afford it, Joe. You make millions of dollars. You don't want to give your DNA to people, especially the government.
Is 23andMe connected to the government?
Yeah, yeah. That's how they clone people. Where do you think they're getting all that DNA from?
You know, with today's topic, I should have put two and two together there. Should have drawn the connection between 23 and Me and cloning. I mean, heck, that's that movie with Jim Carrey, right? The number 23.
I missed that one.
Well, I'm just saying it's a movie that's all about the significance of numbers and whatnot. And here we are. There's the number
There's the number.
23.
Yeah. So don't do it.
You know what? You've sold me, Timmy. I I absolutely will not get it done.
Good man. Hey man, I'm here. I got your back, man. I got your back.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Total Nuisance with Joe Newsense. I, of course, am Joe Newsense here in the studio with my good sound man and friend Timmy Decibel. How you doing today, Timmy?
I'm doing well, Joe. Am I technically a co-host now though? I mean, I feel like I've been promoted.
I mean, arguably, you have been promoted. You know what? I'll talk to our sponsors over at Spittoon and see if we can get that. See if we can get you a new title. You know.
That would be actually hurtful if they didn't want me to actually be co-host in labor.
Well, hey man, don't you worry about what they think. Ultimately, even though I may not control the titles or the money, it's my show. As far as I'm concerned, you're my co host right now. Enough about that. We've got a longtime friend of the show coming on today. Of course, I'm talking about the ever vigilant Elvis truther, Molly Velvet. We're here to talk to her, of course, about her ongoing investigations and theories on the whereabouts of Elvis and the many different theories on what's up with that. How are you doing today, Molly?
Good.
Welcome back. Well,
Thank you.
thank you for coming in and calling into the show. We know you're at a undisclosed location right now. You don't want to say where you're at because as I understand it, you're investigating something pretty in depth.
Yes.
So Molly, like we were saying, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right, so Molly, you of course you're always out there looking for the truth about Elvis. What's going on with Elvis? What happened to him? And you've come up with a pretty big claim recently, and we want to go over this claim here. Now, of course, some people might be familiar. Last year they had a movie come out about Elvis, starring actor Austin Butler. And my understanding is that you have uncovered secret evidence that Austin Butler is in fact a government clone of Elvis. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. And what type of evidence have you uncovered so far?
Um, well, my evidence I've uncovered so far is that Austin Butler worked on the Elvis voice for 3 years, and I think if he hasn't been trying to get rid of the Elvis voice, I think he could be Elvis like forever.
Okay, Elvis forever. Now, now I personally I think that your theory might be onto something, because I'm going to be honest with you. Until this movie came out, I don't think I'd ever heard of Austin Butler. You know?
Yeah.
That's a very good point, Joe. You
Ve-
didn't hear of him until the movie, so he just sort of came out of nowhere.
Very suspicious. Very suspicious, in my opinion. Just saying. Now, so you also, of course, are using his performance itself as a piece of your evidence. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you found his performance to be uncannily Elvis-like.
Yes. Because he
Okay.
did do the Vegas years on the movie, and he did do the '68 comeback. So yes.
So Molly, how many times have you watched the Elvis movie so far?
Like 1,000 trillion times.
1,000 trillion times. Okay.
1,000
And
trillion.
I assume you've documented that
Yes.
pretty significantly.
Yes, I have.
Now,
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, it is a lot of hours.
Now, is that a rough estimate, or are we talking literally that many hours?
Maybe less than that.
Okay. Totally understandable. I'm not sure how many hours are even in a year, to be honest. I mean, I wish I could answer that, but I did fall asleep during Rent. Now, so my understanding is that you have also been in touch with the Elvis truther community. How do they feel about this current theory? Do you see them supporting you? Have anyone else come out with any other evidence that you find pertinent?
I think I could see them supporting me.
Okay, but so far in your discussions with them, has this been a controversial topic, or do you think that they are on board, or do you think that the community is generally on board with you so far?
I think they're on board with me so far.
Okay, I mean, I guess as a conspiracy theorist, you can never be 100% certain that people are on board or not on board. After all, that's what the government wants you to think, that they're all on board.
Yep.
So is this a common thing that's discussed at Elvis conventions?
Yes, there's many things that are discussed, I think, at Elvis conventions. I've never been to any, but I'm assuming that there's a lot of Elvis talk.
Now, is that because you're too high profile of a figure to come out of hiding?
I think so.
You think so? So your lack of contact with the outside world may have limited your perspective on that.
Yes.
Okay, you're being very secretive, and I understand that. You know, you can't just accuse the government of cloning Elvis and not be cautious.
Yes. We got to be very, very cautious.
So can I ask, are there any other clones of Elvis, or is Austin Butler, in your research, is he the only clone that you've discovered?
Well, there's this other guy out there whose name is Jonathan Rhys Myers, and I think he could be Elvis in real life too, or an Elvis impersonator, because he had the voice of Elvis too, but he didn't the voice didn't drag out with him. This is the only Austin Butler is the only kid I know of right now whose the Elvis voice is dragging out.
Okay. I'm not an expert on Elvis voices, but that seems to make sense to me. So now in our messages with you, you told me that you believe that you have come across a secret government document detailing the Elvis cloning experiment. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now, you sent me a copy of what you believe is the document. Would you allow me to go over some of the things in it, or do you consider that to be too dangerous at this time?
I maybe you could talk about it.
Okay, all right. I won't. I'm not going to pull it up on screen or anything, for safety. But so I to be clear, I am not a document expert. I don't know how to analyze these necessarily, but I'm looking at the documents. They sent me a encrypted digital copy of, and there's some interesting stuff in here. Don't know what it all means, but the document does contains words like genetics, sample, tissue. These are obviously all very suspicious. And also, it does contain the words grace and land. Now, they are separated by 30 other words, but it does feature both of those words. So, that's very suspicious right there.
Yes.
Well, let's ask this question. Is 30 a significant number in Elvis world?
That's a good question.
30, the number 30? I don't know.
How old was Elvis when he had his first big hit?
He was, his first big hit, let's see, it was, I think Heartbreak Hotel was his first movie he ever made.
Okay.
But I don't know exactly how old he was when he made his first movie. Mm-hmm. I would have to look that up.
Let's ask this question. How many Billboard top hits did Elvis have?
He had a lot of hits.
Okay.
Do you think he had 30 or so? Maybe more, maybe less. Is 30 a lot? I actually don't know.
30 might be a lot. I've never looked up how many Billboard hits he's had. So I really can't answer that.
All right. So let's think about this. So if Elvis was a teenager when he started playing music, then that would mean that 15 times 2 equaled 30. And now if we take that 30 and we put it as how old he was when the Beatles came to America and upset him, then maybe we take that number and we multiply it. Now we're going to take it back around here, and then we're going to use like an X, like some algebra, and then maybe that number is significant.
Yes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on to something here, Joe.
Yep, absolutely.
You heard it here first on the Joe Newsense Podcast.
Obviously, the number 30 is important to whatever's going on with Elvis.
Absolutely.
Would you agree, Molly?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Now, why do you think the government would want to clone Elvis now?
I think the government would want to clone Elvis now because I think a lot of fans are missing Elvis, and there's been like pictures of Elvis made out of the clouds. I've seen lots of pictures on social media, on Facebook, and other sites.
So you're saying there have been sort of like premonitions or omens in the sky?
Yes.
Okay. So the return of Elvis may, in fact, bring on some type of spiritual warfare. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Well, they say in some primitive cultures that celestial events are signifiers of the oncoming of like the next king or the next god. So that could lead to, Elvis was the king.
Yep.
So we're talking about a return of the king situation.
Return of the king.
Yep.
Okay. So do you think that the real Elvis will one day appear back in society, and that maybe him and like the Elvis clone will have to have some type of sing-off competition of some kind?
I believe so.
I just want to clarify. When we previously talked, you were of the belief that Elvis still was out there somewhere hiding in society. Do you still maintain this belief?
Yes, I still believe.
So I guess my question to you is
somewhere.
My question is, do you believe that we might be approaching a point in time where the real Elvis will reveal himself to the public in order to combat the clone version of himself?
Yes, I believe so.
Whoa.
Okay, this is getting biblical.
Getting
biblical in here.
Oh my God.
I would buy the ticket to that movie.
Wow.
Let's be honest.
The real Elvis comes back to fight the clone Elvis.
Obviously it's going to be a rock off. you know.
It's
Yes.
probably in, I would guess maybe Madison Square Garden. No, they'd have to do it in Graceland, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They'd have to do it. Yeah.
Is there a big enough concert venue in Graceland?
I hope
guess is the
that
question.
someday they would make a 3D hologram of Elvis, because when the 3D hologram of Elvis first started, because I did see a 3D hologram of Elvis, and I don't, Priscilla didn't really like it at first, but I hope maybe someday they'll do it again and Priscilla will appreciate it.
So hold on. Are we breaking the binary dichotomy of good versus evil here? Are we talking about a three-way rock off between real Elvis, clone Elvis, and a hologram?
Well, it would be a hologram of the real Elvis.
Well, no, but I mean, obviously, a hologram is also a replication of Elvis. So if we have the real Elvis there, and then we have the hologram Elvis there, and then we also have the clone Elvis, we could theoretically have like a three-way rock-off. Or, hear me out on this, what if we ended up with an all-Elvis band? We got the clone Elvis, the real Elvis, and the hologram Elvis. Now, obviously, the hologram Elvis can't play a real instrument, but why have them fight when they could be an incredible three-man band?
The all Elvis band.
I agree with you there. I think that would be awesome if there were three Elvises.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but like, can you imagine a whole album of just Elvis harmonizing with other Elvises?
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. That'd almost be worth coming out of hiding for, right?
Yeah. Yes, it would be worth coming out of hiding for. Yes.
They the amount of money that band would make, they would sell out every concert, every show. Mm-hmm. Like it would be worth bajillions of dollars.
Yes, it would.
I mean, old man Elvis coming back from the dead practically, that would get some attention.
That would be enough already. But then you talk about clone Elvis and then artificial intelligence Elvis.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, this is one of the most startling revelations I've ever heard, Molly. Thank you so much for bringing it to our attention.
Absolutely.
So Molly, how would you be open to us reaching out for a caller to come on the interview here?
So, okay, caller, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Great. Why don't you introduce yourself and ask the question you have for our guest here?
Well, my name is Carl Danvers. It's not my real name, but I don't think that's really important. But yeah, I had some questions about your views on the situation with the clone of Elvis and the robot replica of Elvis.
Wait, there's a robot too?
Well, I was under the impression that back in the early parts of Elvis's career, they tried to monetize him a bit more by turning him into, well, not by turning him into, by copying his mind and trying to turn tricks with this kind of robot Elvis and sort of like a Chuck E. Cheese situation.
To be clear, just to be clear here, man, are we talking about a full artificial like robot Elvis that just has like his memories and ideas recorded into him, or are we talking about a cyborg Elvis where they've taken his brain and put it in a robot?
Oh no, this was in the early parts of his career. It was just a replica.
Okay.
And not a very good one because, it was early robotics technology. So it's a little bit more along the lines of a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic than anything else.
All I'm hearing here is that this could be a 4-piece band. That's all I'm hearing.
It would be a very interesting barbershop quartet is all I'm saying.
I was going to say, Molly, what do you think about this robot Elvis theory? Have you heard about this one before? And do you have any thoughts on its veracity? Meaning if it's true or not.
I believe it's true. And I have heard of it. I really can't say anything about the robot. I mean, maybe someday he could be turned into a robot. Like maybe someday somebody could make one and throw his voice in it and throw his brain in it. So there's many ways that I think Elvis could be cloned.
Okay, but from the sound of it, you don't think that this robot made sometime in the 50s or 60s would be up to snuff with current technology. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So you believe that if that robot was made, he probably broke down a long time ago and wasn't too super special?
No, he wasn't super special. He would have broke down like a couple of years ago.
But you do believe that the government probably did try this?
Yes, I believe the government did try this.
Okay, wow.
I do have documents in my possession that made to Elvis's Funland, which is basically the akin of one of those old animatronic restaurants, which is what they were trying to do.
Well, that doesn't sound quite as nefarious as an actual like Elvis replacement robot.
Well, I would point out that they would then have an entire army of robotic Elvises that are stationed in key points around the country. Does that sound suspicious to you? I personally think it does.
Well, I guess it depends on the quality of the animatronics. Like, I've never seen a Chuck E. Cheese robot leave the stage. You know what I mean?
They were programmed with technology that would have allowed them to interact with the audience somewhat. It'd be limited, but it'd be enough.
Okay.
Interesting.
I assume the problem in the 50s was getting the gyrating hips to not break down.
To my knowledge, Dave broke down almost every day, and the sounds that it would make were terrifying to the children. That is one of the reasons why it never really took off.
So it was test marketed with actual children.
Oh, definitely. They were severely, severely traumatized.
And do you have documentation of this, or possibly a YouTube channel, which I will accept without any second thoughts?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's called The Truth Behind the Elvis Abominations. It's kind of like a YouTube series.
Okay. All right. Sounds like it'd be a good one for you to follow there, Molly.
Okay.
There you go. Just got you a new follower. And possibly the hundreds of thousands of Spittoon listeners currently listening. Assuming.
That would be fantastic.
That would be fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here, Mr. Danvers. I certainly hope that you have all the success in the world with your YouTube channel there.
Well, I only got one of Elvis's kids having a restraining order against me right now, so that's at least good.
Ooh. What do you think? What do you think about that, Molly? Him having a restraining order from Elvis's kids.
Maybe it's good that they put a restraining order out there because they don't want to disclose any information, especially one of Elvis's kids, because some of that information might be private.
Mm-hmm.
And it's family related only.
And by private, we also mean both personally.
Yep.
And
information.
And classified.
Yeah, and classified, yes.
Okay.
Highly classified and all
right.
that.
Well, thank you for joining us, Mr. Danvers. Let's
I'll cut him off.
Okay. All right, so Molly, I feel like we've really taken in a lot today.
Yeah.
How long do you think it would be until this final confrontation of the many different Elvises occurred? Now, I will tell you, I do have a theory that maybe the answer is when the clone is 30 years old. Does anyone know how old Austin Butler is now?
That is why I am here.
Don't worry, Molly. We understand that you probably have to avoid having a smartphone with you because the government tracks them.
Yes, they do. They do track.
Actually, Austin Butler is 31 years old, and his birthday was in August.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Elvis movie came out, he was 30.
There we go. There's the connection we've been looking for this whole time.
Yep.
The movie came
30.
out when he was 30.
Yep.
Oh, so that's right there.
That that to me is undeniable mathematical proof.
That is the significance of the 30 words in the document separating the words grace and land. There we go. We got it. We put it all together.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am looking forward to Elvageddon.
The Apoca Presley.
Elvis Rock.
The like Elvis Ragnarok.
Yeah. I was trying to go or Elvis Rock and I don't know, Elvis Rock and Roll, Ragnarok and Roll.
Maybe we have been mistranslating Ragnarok, and that Ragnarok is indeed about the return of Elvis.
Yes.
The Ragnarok and Roll.
I like that.
Obviously, we're all going to have to go home and read our Bhagavad Gitas, get some more information on this.
Absolutely.
But Molly Velvet, do you have any other comments or things you feel like important for us to know about the Elvis clone situation? Or any other final comments you have regarding any of these numerous new discoveries we've come up with right here on the podcast?
I don't really have any questions
Mm-hmm.
other than I'm still trying to figure out why Lisa Marie died, because there were heart problems did run through her family.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still saying everything's deferred right now.
And as we all know, when they defer things, that's suspicious.
Yes.
Because any vacuum of information is a sign that something is wrong.
Yep. And they said that she was taking diet pills to lose weight, and she did lose 50 pounds before she passed away. And she was last seen at the Golden Globes with Austin Butler and Baz Luhrmann at the time. That was her last sighting of her being alive.
So she was there with a clone of her dad, essentially.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, right there, that makes it sound like she knew too much.
Yes.
Maybe maybe at the Golden Globe she discovered something.
Yes.
She found out about that 30-year-old clone.
Yep.
And maybe it broke her heart.
Clone.
Maybe it broke her heart.
Or she just knew too much.
Yes.
The Presley that knew too much.
Yep. They did say it was broken heart syndrome, which is suspicious to me, because I've never heard of that before. I didn't know humans could have that condition.
Heartbreak hotel condition is what it sounds like to me.
And it sounds like she had a suspicious mind.
Yes. So that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
There's many mystery questions out there still.
Actually, that's a great title, Timmy. Write that one down. A Suspicious Mind, a talk with Molly Velvet. All right. Well, we're gonna go to our ads here in a moment, but we just want to thank you so much for coming on the program, Molly.
You're welcome.
And I absolutely, I feel like I'm beginning to see the truth here.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming on the show and spending some time with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, and good luck with your searches.
I hope that one day you can come out of hiding.
Yes, I hope one day I can come out of hiding too.
All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. Stay freaky, my sneeches. Well, I thought that was a pretty great episode.
That was a great episode. Oh, by the way, my step counter reads, walking over here, I just crossed over 30,000 steps today.
30?
30,000?
30 divided by... 1,000 divided by